For some women, taking control means taking lives.
He's going to regret this.
You're not going to get custody.
A mom wants custody of her child.
What did you say?
At any cost.
Big problem. He unleashed a monster.
Stop it!
An obsessed neighbor fans the flames of jealousy.
She was clearly a ticking time bomb.
And with this mom, the cost of lodging is death.
She got a thrill out of making people do things for her.
These women's desire for dominance makes them cold as ice. Early, a tiny farming community in Iowa. A quiet, peaceful town. Then on December 13th, 2001, 35-year-old Tracy Richtor has just put her 11-year-old son, Bert, to bed when she is the victim of a violent home invasion.
The big guy was dragging her around with pantyhose, slid her down the hallway.
Shut that kid up!
She overheard the little guy telling Bert behind the door, you know, shut up or you're next. And then the motherly instincts kicked in.
A mother's love gives Tracy the courage to fight back.
She was able to hop from the bed, unlock the gun safe, turn around.
She's got guns!
Fire. With precision, shot this intruder.
The big guy takes off running and she can hear him bounding down the stairs and opening the front door.
Mrs. Richtor, you must have been scared. Was it hard to think under pressure?
You know, I just went into autopilot.
Tracy's sharpshooting feat
And how many shots exactly?
makes her an instant media sensation.
I believe it was 11, and 9 of which hit their mark.
She's like a local hero. You know, she's like a poster child for the NRA.
That's some pretty sharp shooting.
She was viewed as Wonder Woman.
And how did you get the mark on your neck?
Oh, this is when they tried to strangle me with the pantyhose.
There was no doubts or questions in anyone's mind that what she did was wrong.
Nate, jump in and get close up.
This modern-day Annie Oakley enjoys the attention.
She put a spotlight on herself because of the things that she said and the things that she did.
But Tracy's not telling her whole story. 13 years earlier, in Denver, Colorado, Tracy, a beautiful 21-year-old, marries Dr. John Pittman.
So I hear you guys are doctors.
Oh, I'm not a doctor. I'm a radiologist.
I'm a surgeon.
The college sweethearts seem a perfect match.
We met at college.
Tracy is studying radiology. She meets a man, the man of her dreams, if you will, and he's studying medicine.
They are an ambitious young couple.
They see their lives just going from one step to the next, up that ladder of life. It's gonna be perfect.
The arrival of a son 2 years later completes the perfect picture.
You get that expression when you sleep, too.
After their son was born, it seemed to outsiders that their marriage was flourishing.
But like many women, Tracy struggles with the demands of being a new mom.
Why don't you stay and help?
And John's long days at work add to her stress.
What time will you be home? Midnight?
5.
John's training to be a surgeon kept him out of the house about 120 hours a week.
Being home alone with a baby isn't Tracy's idea of fun. she soon finds a way to keep herself amused.
Boy, am I glad to see you.
You look at Tracy, and it's like she always wants something more. Happiness is not enough. A child is not enough. So I gotta what? I gotta up the ante again, and I gotta start an affair.
Tracy thinks it's her dirty little secret. But John is no fool.
He started suspecting Tracy was seeing other men.
Can I help you? Yeah, hi, I'm...
He hires a private investigator.
It's to check on my wife.
But nothing could prepare John for the report.
Not only did that investigator have his suspicions about Tracy, he told John the best thing he could do was to get out of that marriage, that he was in danger.
By 1992, the Pittmans' marriage is as rocky as the Colorado mountains.
My patient needed me.
You always have some excuse.
You really think I want to work these hours? I have no choice.
They got into an argument, and he decided to leave the house.
I have to go.
Oh, no, you don't.
Tracy absolutely lost it. Pulled out a gun, pointed it at him.
So what sort of wife, John is asking himself, would threaten her husband with a gun in the middle of a domestic argument? There's something within Tracy that John is about to learn that is very dark.
It's the last straw for John. He files for divorce.
What do you want?
But no one dumps Tracy.
Yeah, can you please sign the documents?
She goes right for the jugular. You know what? Nobody rejects me. I'm gonna get back at you, big time.
Tracy files for sole custody of her son.
What did you say?
You heard me.
All she wanted to do was hurt John because he wanted to leave her.
But the divorce judge rules they must share custody. With her marriage woes behind her, Tracy moves on to her second husband, Australian Michael Roberts. The couple moves to Early, Iowa.
By all accounts, the first few years of the marriage between Tracy and Michael seemed to be very happy.
Having a second husband doesn't lessen Tracy's anger towards her first. She keeps using her son to hurt John.
Tracy would deny Dr. Pittman visitation.
So John does something that any father would do. He goes after his son.
He's going for sole custody.
He attempted to get sole custody. Big problem. He unleashed a monster.
He's going to regret this.
In Early, Iowa, Tracy Richtor has a new husband, but she's still in a bitter custody battle for her son with her ex, Dr. John Pittman. Then, on December 13th, 2001, Tracy's the victim of a shocking crime. A home invasion.
She's got guns!
She manages to fight back and kills one of the intruders. It turns out to be her 20-year-old neighbor, Dustin Weedy.
People just thought was a strange kid to begin with. People kind of wanted to accept the fact that maybe he was capable of that.
Why would Dustin want to hurt Tracy? According to his confession, found in a pink spiral notebook, Tracy's ex-husband hired him.
And the spiral notebook basically detailed that John Pittman had been in contact with him and wanted him to kill Tracy.
But John denies ever meeting Dustin. And police can't find any phone records connecting the two.
You know, I just went into auto.
As police continue their investigation, Tracy enjoys her hero status. But Special Agent Trent Valletta thinks something's up.
The marks on her neck looked red, but I kept asking myself, if you are getting pulled down the hallway, why isn't there more bruising?
And who's heard of a killer leaving a confession lying around?
Something doesn't smell right. In fact, something smells evil here.
But suspicions can't get a conviction. Without enough evidence, the case goes cold. But Agent Valletta can't forget it.
He was already obsessed. And I became obsessed.
In 2009, 8 years after the murder, Sac County District Attorney Ben Smith reopens the investigation. And Tracy's true colors are exposed.
What they find, they claim, is the most violent, most vile snuff pornography they've ever seen in their careers. This stuff is brutal.
30-plus videos of men breaking into a house and raping a single woman. There were dozens of pictures of dead bodies.
There wasn't anything Tracy didn't like to do. It all gave her a thrill.
When they re-interview a friend of Tracy's, she reveals information for the first time that breaks the case.
Tracy told her about a notebook just days after it happened.
Police never released the fact that they found the notebook confession.
What they did, which I thought was genius, was they told nobody about the pink notebook. So in their minds, they thought that whoever started talking about the pink notebook first would be the one that was guilty of the crime.
That's the case right there. She should have known about a notebook, right?
Tracy isn't a victim. She's a cold-blooded assassin.
Hey, Dustin.
Hi, Tracy.
Her kind-hearted neighbor didn't suspect a thing.
He was just more of a quiet kid, quiet, lonely kid that didn't have any friends.
Hey, could I borrow your muscles for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Kind of a goofy-looking kid, but I think had a good heart.
Dustin often helps Tracy around the house. Today,
Come in.
she wants a lot more from him.
It would be extremely easy for a woman like Tracy to manipulate a guy like Dustin.
Take a seat.
What's going on?
Sit down.
She pulls out one of her guns and she says, "You're gonna write something down on a piece of paper, and you're gonna do it right now."
Write this down.
She forces Dustin to write a confession that implicates her ex-husband.
This was all about framing her ex-husband to get custody of Bert.
Faster, write it down.
She can take that notebook to court. She can show that she was assaulted, and there's no one to say that it didn't happen because Dustin's dead.
Stand up. Turn around.
Please don't hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt you, Dustin. I'm gonna kill you.
Tracy takes a life of an innocent young man to win a custody battle.
She fires, and she hits him 9 out of 11 times.
She plotted, she planned, she pulled the trigger.
Tracy then plants the damning notebook in Dustin's car and turns herself into the victim.
It's a calculated thing. She didn't really have any other bruises on her body, so she had to produce some sort of evidence that Dustin was there and Dustin actually assaulted her.
As outlandish as Tracy's plan was, she pulled it off for 10 years.
Finally, Tracy gets a knock on the door.
Yes?
And is arrested. In 2011, the jury takes less than 2 hours to find her guilty of first-degree murder.
She was willing to kill somebody, basically to win a custody dispute.
Tracy Richtor is sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Psychopaths look at themselves as being smarter than everyone around them. They pride themselves on their ability to lie and get away with it. But Tracy wasn't that good of a psychopath.
Fire transforms a home into a death trap.
They were all going to die, and there was nothing he could do about it.
Shock turns to disbelief.
She had no sense of control. She had no boundaries.
This blaze is no accident.
She was clearly a ticking time bomb.
In 2012, Prestatyn, Wales. A picturesque seaside town.
Prestatyn is a small town, and in the summer it's full of holidaymakers.
For 23-year-old Liam Timbrell, it's the perfect place to raise a family with his bubbly partner. 20-year-old Leanna Shires.
Leanna and Liam, they were everything to each other. They were extremely happy together, you know, as a family.
Leanna is a stay-at-home mom, while Liam works 2 jobs to give 15-month-old Charlie the best they can.
They were just starting out in life, really, together.
He's finally asleep.
Oh, is he now?
The young couple rent an upstairs apartment, and they couldn't be happier. The same can't be said for their downstairs neighbor.
Stop it!
43-year-old Melanie Smith.
Shut up! Don't make me come up there!
God. We've awakened the beast.
She scares me.
Don't worry about it. Just ignore it.
Stop it!
Melanie had lots of mental and emotional problems. She treated them with alcohol. That made everything worse.
You were you last night till 12 o'clock?
I was with Charlie.
With Charlie, were you?
Melanie Smith appeared to be a lonely person. She appeared to have alienated anyone who ever got close to her.
Melanie doesn't even trust her live-in lover, 45-year-old Steve Clarkson.
Melanie had accused Steve of having an affair, you know, on many of occasions.
What are you looking at?
Nothing.
I know what you're up to.
Melanie thought any woman she saw was having an affair with her boyfriend,
including her much younger neighbor, Leanna.
With that slag upstairs!
What? You're off your bloody rocker. What?
I
that wasn't happening. But once Melanie got a hold of an idea, she never let it go.
Melanie becomes obsessed with Leanna and everything she does.
She looked for things to be angry about.
Hello?
If she couldn't find anything, she'd go looking for it.
Stupid bloody thing. Are you right?
Melanie was angered by Leanna leaving the pram in the stairwell. There was also a dispute over Leanna leaving cigarette butts outside the front of the house.
What is her problem?
Life. She didn't hold back when it came to being aggressive in the situation.
I'll burn the bloody house down with her and the kitchenette!
For Liam and Leanna, their crazy neighbor is annoying, but surely not dangerous.
I think that they just looked at her as a drunk, you know, just talking rubbish.
But paranoia, obsession, and alcohol are a dangerous mix.
I know what you're up to in there. I'll burn the bloody house down with you and the kitchenette.
She should have been taken more seriously.
In the Welsh seaside town of Prestatyn, there is no love lost between the upstairs and the downstairs neighbors.
Stop it!
Melanie Smith is at war with young couple Liam Timbrell and Leanna Shires.
Hello?
Everything Leanna and Liam did upset Melanie. But I think anyone who had lived there would have upset Melanie.
I'll burn the bloody house down with her and the kitchenette!
Melanie is particularly angry at Leanna.
She was jealous. She thought Leanna was having an affair with her boyfriend.
There is no affair, but Melanie's vivid imagination is fueled by alcohol. October 19th, 2012. She hits the bottle early.
Melanie appeared to have been drinking all day.
Don't you dare!
She was clearly a ticking time bomb.
Upstairs,
Little circles, come on.
Liam and Leanna have a full house.
There we go.
15-month-old Charlie has playmates.
Can you see yourself in the mirror?
2 young cousins are having a sleepover.
Leanna's niece and nephew, Bailey, who was 4, and Sky, who was 2, they were staying with her for the evening.
Okay, kidlets, time to spit in the sink. Are you ready? And spit.
Fun and laughter. But not for Melanie.
She was at boiling point.
Oh, perfect. I'm gonna do it!
What are you doing? It doesn't go that way.
Don't make me do it!
Off we go.
She set the pram on fire at the bottom of the stairwell.
Burn in hell!
She had no sense of control. She had no boundaries. She decided to set the fire and let what happened, happen.
Fire breaks out in the communal hallway.
The fire was set in the only escape route for the upstairs apartment.
Liam knows the only way his family can get out is down the stairs. But the heat and flames push him back.
Fire! Fire!
After the fire had caught on and the carpet and walls were burning, it would be impossible for the family upstairs to get out.
Everything's okay.
And the windows can't be opened.
All right, we're gonna go back. We're gonna change of plan.
There wasn't even a chance of escape. Unbeknownst to them, they were living in a death trap.
Liam makes a desperate call to emergency services.
Help us! Help! Someone lit the flat on fire!
It must have been horrendous for Liam and Leanna with the 3 children because there was absolutely no way out.
There's a fire downstairs.
Liam knew after the fire was set that they were all going to die, and there was nothing he could do about it. He also knew help was not going to get to them in time.
Firefighters arrive, but it's too late for Leanna, 4-year-old Bailey, and 2-year-old Sky. Somehow, Charlie and Liam survive, just.
In incredible pain. His lungs and airways would have been burning with each breath.
But he fights the pain to say a few words.
It was arson.
He made a dying declaration. He told the firefighters who did it.
It was Mel.
I suspect that those words were the last he ever spoke.
Living downstairs, Melanie escapes the flames through a window.
As the fire broke out, Melanie and Steve escaped through the bedroom window.
Melanie Smith, is it?
Aye, that's me.
What do you know about what's happened tonight?
I was in bed. I had nothing to do with that.
In bed, were you?
Yeah, I was in bed with Steve here.
Melanie Smith painted a picture of almost being a victim herself.
Tell them I was in bed with you, wasn't I?
I see.
Tell the officer I was in bed with you.
Save it for the station.
Soon police learn of Melanie's grudge against Leanna.
I burn the bloody house down with you and the kids in it.
And more telling, her heartless reaction to the plight of the family.
Are the children up there?
When a resident asked Melanie, how many children are up there?
How many were up there? How the bloody hell would I know? She's got everybody up there.
She said this while Leanna, Liam, and 3 little children were burning to death.
But Liam's dying courage decides Melanie's future. She is arrested and charged with 3 counts of murder. A tally that soon rises.
Charlie, the baby, mercifully died in 2 days. Liam lingered for 3 horrible weeks. And before he died, he knew what had happened to his entire family. And he knew who did it.
In May 2013, Melanie Smith is convicted on 5 counts of murder and sentenced to life in prison. No chance of parole for 30 years.
Melanie Smith was unstable, hostile, insecure, paranoid, jealous, and that spelled trouble for the rest of the world.
She'd made too many threats for this to be a spontaneous act. I think it was going to happen. If it's not that night, I think it was going to happen another time. And I think if she was still on the street, it would happen to another family.
Even Melanie's own family agree. Her victims did nothing to deserve the fate she dealt them.
Melanie's own 3 children said that they believed their mother was the most evil woman in Great Britain. They'll get no argument from me.
Sometimes it's not wrong place, wrong time.
They kicked her, they stomped on her, they beat her on the head.
It's wrong place.
She got a thrill out of making people do things for her.
Wrong people.
Rhonda demanded absolute loyalty, and she got it.
2010, Nipomo, California. Seemingly a quiet rural community.
You wouldn't have to blink more than twice going through it, but it's nice enough.
But it has a dark underbelly.
and start bagging.
47-year-old Rhonda Wisto's home is the center of a drug ring.
She had been hooked on meth most of her adult life. Her home became this sort of meth distribution center.
She would allow people to hole up at her house as long as they did things for her.
That's why she called herself the puppet master.
Rhonda sort of began to fancy herself as this Ma Barker type, this middle-aged mother who is a gang leader.
It's a simple transaction. Drugs for loyalty. Rhonda even uses the same method to control her son, 19-year-old Jacob York.
Did you weigh this?
He wasn't a very outgoing person. His demeanor was sort of quiet.
He says he can feel the weight.
Use the scales.
Rhonda demanded absolute loyalty from her family and those close to her in the gang. And she got it.
But a small-time operation isn't enough for Rhonda. She wants to be a drug kingpin.
It's not that hard.
So she recruits a lieutenant, 28-year-old Ty Hill.
Ty Hill was the one assisting Rhonda in amping up the criminal enterprise. And then they were trying to move up into the larger quantities, ounces, half pounds, that kind of stuff.
He told people he was a bail bondsman. He carried handcuffs. He also had a sadistic side.
Across town, life couldn't be more different for 15-year-old Destiny Myers.
She was a Girl Scout. She sang in her church choir.
Many people saw promise in Destiny. Teachers thought she was very bright. For a while, it looked like she had everything going for her.
Voice of an angel.
Just beautiful.
Destiny was raised by her grandmother because her mother had drug issues herself and she was getting out of jail.
Do you know what? I would like Destiny to lead our choir program.
But Destiny doesn't stay a good girl. She's drawn to the wild side, like her mother.
You're going to school today. Make me.
Some children who have parents in prison act real bad or are real bad because they think it's their destiny, their DNA destiny.
In September 2010, Destiny runs away from home. One of the first people she hooks up with
Did she say anything about me?
is Ty Hill.
No.
He offers her a place to stay.
I got a place to stay. We have weed there.
Yeah.
She doesn't realize what she's walking into.
Ty Michael Hill brought her to Rhonda's.
Boys, this is Destiny. Destiny, this is the boys.
And initially passed her off as his niece.
And this is Rhonda. Rhonda, this is my niece. Can she stay?
In Rhonda's world, you live by her rules or face the consequences.
Rhonda really got into the whole gang culture.
Mind your own business and don't ask questions.
And in the gang world, respect meant everything.
And keep your mouth shut.
Aye, aye, Captain.
For a newly minted bad girl, rules are for losers.
Destiny? Get in here!
And at one point, she had carved a symbol into a piece of furniture that Rhonda owned.
You don't have to yell.
How dare you vandalize my table?
It's not exactly an antique.
You watch yourself, girl.
Here you have this young, slight 15-year-old girl standing up to her, talking back to her.
Just shut your mouth or you regret it.
I think that really offended her and threatened her status as leader of the gang.
Destiny's mouth isn't the only thing getting her into trouble.
Destiny became the girlfriend of Rhonda's son. Big mistake.
Rhonda worried that if word got out that her son was sleeping with a 15-year-old, that he would get in trouble. She was also very worried that Destiny was going to tip off police as to some of the illegal activity that had been taking place at the house.
Destiny knew too much about Rhonda's criminal enterprise.
Rhonda decides Destiny must go. September 26th, 2010. Nipomo, California. 47-year-old puppet master Rhonda Wistow gives orders to her crew.
I don't think she's gonna be a problem.
Oh, she is gonna be a problem. That mouth of hers is gonna get us all in trouble.
So what would you like us to do?
What do you think?
Together they plan 15-year-old Destiny Myers' farewell.
Some of the items on the list were 55-gallon drum, shovels, a tent, flammable fluids. Once they had the list, then they just had to wait for the right time.
Destiny senses something is wrong and thinks it's time to go.
She was carrying a bag of clothes.
You're not going nowhere.
Ty Hill injected her with a pretty heavy dose of meth.
But not a dose that will kill her. Rhonda wants Destiny to suffer.
Mom, I don't want to do this.
Rhonda's son did not want to be involved in the murder of Destiny. And Rhonda said,
Sometimes things just need to happen. Get in there.
and he did what Mama wanted.
And I think that she actually got a thrill out of making people do things for her. They used their fists, their feet, brass knuckles, a sword, and a baseball bat.
What's that? Hey, get up! Get up! Get in there!
Rhonda orders 20-year-olds, Jason Greenwell and Cody Miller, to join in.
Destiny was petite, probably 100 pounds. 4 young males could have killed her very quickly and, well, frankly, painlessly. But they didn't. They kicked her to death, they stomped on her, they beat her on the head. Completely unnecessary.
But it's necessary for Rhonda. She can hold this murder over her boys forever. But not all of them. One of Rhonda's henchmen, Cody Miller, is next on her hit list.
Rhonda ordered her son and the others, after they were done killing Destiny, to kill Cody. She thought he was a police informant. He wasn't.
He was knocked out and actually fell into the pit that he just dumped Destiny's body into.
Against the odds, Cody escapes.
Jacob takes off running after him. Neither of them have a flashlight. So Cody doesn't have to go very far, and he hides.
Jacob gives up the chase.
He's dead. You sure? He's gotta be.
So the body's in the grave. They throw some kindling on top of it, put the flammable liquid on there, ignite it. there's a boom, a loud noise, and that wakes up the neighbors.
Rhonda's henchmen weren't exactly the brightest lights in the harbor.
When firefighters arrive, they find more than a grass fire.
A man came out of the darkness. He didn't have a shirt on, his face was covered in blood, and his nose was almost amputated. He said that there had been a murder committed, and he told the firefighters the blaze that they were about to fight would contain the victim.
Rhonda's plan backfires. Now, Cody is a police informant. He names names. Rhonda, Jacob, Jason, and Ty are arrested. Ty Hill and Cody Miller plead guilty to first-degree murder and are sentenced to life without parole. Jason Greenwell, guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 15 years to life.
Murder was not in the cards for these defendants until they met Rhonda Wistow.
In May 2013, mother and son are found guilty of first-degree murder.
He may not have had the heart for murder that his mother did, and he may not have wanted to kill Destiny, but he did.
They receive the same sentence, life without parole. Rhonda Wistow's need to control puts 4 young men behind bars and takes a life that had hardly even begun.
A lot of people said that Destiny did lose her way, but some people felt eventually she would have gotten back on track. Maybe the fact that she was leaving that house, that could have been the first step, but we'll never know.
These deadly women wanted the ultimate control, sentencing others to death. Tracy Richtor took an innocent life to frame her ex. Melanie Smith condemned a family to flames. And Rhonda Wistow proved her dominance with murder. Lives meant nothing to them. Their hearts weren't just hard. They were cold as ice.